Welcome to the 2018 Bracket Buster Tip-Off Drawing. My name is Matt Tour. I'll be one of your hosts this afternoon. We also have Anna Sanchez and Adam Welsh. So welcome to the 2018 contest. We're going to get this going quickly. We do have a lot of names to go through, a lot of teams to announce, so this is going to take a while, so we're going to go ahead and get started as quickly as possible. We'll go over to Adam for his first group of individuals he's drawing for. Go ahead, Adam.
All right, we're going to go the first 10 teams here. So starting off, we have Alex O. has drawn his first team, which is New Mexico State. So Alex O., you have New Mexico State.
Surprised that wasn't Wayne State.
Different league there, Matt.
Different league, all right. Let's just keep it going then.
All right, next advisor up here is Alan R. Alan, you drew Houston, so nice opportunity there. Angelo B. I have one team here, and Angelo, you drew UNCG, so UNC Greensboro.
Big hitter there. They should do really well this tournament.
And our next advisor here qualified for 5 teams, so
he's a sandbagger, obviously, so we better keep track of that guy.
So Anthony L., you have 5 teams here. Your first team looks like it's Georgia State. Thank you, Anna.
They'll be one and done.
Second team is Texas Tech.
Much better.
Third team is Auburn.
Ooh. Southeastern Conference there.
Fourth, we're looking at Purdue. We got some powerhouses here.
Definitely.
And the fifth and final team for you is Florida State. So,
much better drawing that last part of that drawing.
Anthony, I would say you have a pretty good shot here to be in for the next round.
That's good. So everybody remember that your teams that you draw, if those teams win, they're going to get you to the next round of games, which is the Sweet 16. If your teams lose, you can write another piece of business between now, which is the 15th?
Today's the
14th.
Pi Day.
Pi Day. So the 14th of March, so a week from today, would be the 21st, and you'll automatically be able to draw a new team next week. So if your teams get beat, you can go ahead and reload with new teams. So I'm going to go ahead and start drawing. Are you going to do another couple teams here, Adam?
I think we have a couple more here, so before it's your turn, Matt, so just...
I'm getting a little anxious over here.
Hang out for just a minute more here.
All right.
Next advisor up, we have Boyd E. I have one team here, and Boyd, you drew Villanova.
Ooh, that's a good team to have. Number 1 seed.
Number 1 seed.
Yes. Big East.
Finally, we have Brett I. Brett, you drew, looks like Xavier. So we've got a couple of number 1 seeds out.
Yes, the number 1 seeds are going quickly, so let's keep track of those, and I'm sure they'll be glad they got those high-rated teams there. Anything you're going to say this morning, Anna? You're going to just keep rolling along?
I'm just keep rolling along.
All right, let's keep it going then. We're going to go to our next 10 teams here. This will be on the annuity side, so we're going to announce agents that wrote annuities for the last 3 weeks, so great chance for you to get involved and move forward with some of your teams. So we start with Adam C. You get one team here. Adam C., your team is Kansas State Wildcats, so good luck with that one. I think you're going to go down first round to Creighton, which is a team from Omaha here. See how that goes. Andre K. is our next agent, and Andre has South Dakota State, so there's a good local team here from the region. They've got a great player from Nebraska. Any background on him, Adam?
No background on him, but that's a good upset pick.
Definitely a good upset pick. So our next agent is Anthony K. Anthony also gets one team, and he has pulled Cincinnati. So the Cincinnati, what's their nickname, Adam?
Bearcats.
Bearcats. Excellent. Next on the list is Barry S. So Barry actually gets two teams. The first team is going to be Missouri. So the Missouri Tigers is his first team, going to Barry S. And the next team is going to be Wichita State, spelled Witchita. So Someone's got some spelling issues there, Adam. We'll have to get that straightened out as quickly as possible.
That's my bad.
Yes, we gotta figure Wichita out, don't we? So the next on the list, we're looking at Brad B. Also gets 2 teams. So Brad's first team is going to be Duke. So great job with that selection. I think Duke is being picked by a lot of people to win the entire series, and he also has Virginia, another high pick.
Virginia, number 1 overall seed.
Number 1 overall seed. So, Brad, you're looking pretty solid right now. Our last pick on the initial group is going to be Brenda O. Brenda has picked San Diego State. So, a good choice there for you, Brenda. So, we're going to go ahead and go back to our other co-host, Adam, and see if Adam can draw some good teams for his next group of agents.
Looks like we have all but one number 1 seed out right now, don't we?
We do.
Who's that
Yep.
last one, Matt?
Last one was Virginia.
Yep.
Was the last number 1 seed taken. Now remember that we are going to have to reload these teams because we're going to be giving out over 250 teams between the agents that qualified for this contest. So we had over 160 agents qualify, and our biggest qualifier actually qualified for 15 teams. So he's going to have almost a quarter of the field
That'll
all to
take a
himself.
while to draw.
Yes, that will definitely take a while.
All right.
Adam is next up.
Keep it moving here. Next agent up is Brian N. Brian, you've drawn TCU. So TCU is your team starting off. Next advisor, we have 6 teams to draw here. So the next 6 are going to you, Caleb S. We have Tennessee for your first team.
Go Volunteers.
Anna. Next team up is Arizona. Caleb S., your third team looks like you have Iona.
So you went from Arizona to Iona. That's a pretty big drop there.
They can't all be good.
Yes. Is there any FBI investigations in Iona this year? Is it just going to be Arizona?
You know, I don't think the FBI knows where Iona is.
That's probably true.
Yeah. So next team up looks like Caleb S., you have Rhode Island. So that could be a good upset pick.
Definitely.
We have North Carolina State.
Go Wolfpack.
And Caleb, your final team is St. Bonaventure.
The Bonnies.
The Bonnies. They pulled it out last night.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Big victory last night. We'll have to see what happens tonight with some of these teams.
Okay. Next advisor up before I kick it back to Matt here. Looks like we have Carol H. Carol, you get 2 teams here. So the first one, we're looking at Florida. And then we have Arkansas, so a couple of SEC teams. So Carol, those are your 2 teams.
Excellent. Let's go ahead and get moving again. Let's get another 10 teams out on the docket. Our first agent we're going to be drawing for is going to be Brian D. He gets 5 teams, so your first team you're drawing, Brian, is going to be Penn, not Penn State, but Penn University. Who are they playing?
League.
Ivy League.
They're smart up there.
They're playing the University of Kansas first game out.
Oh,
So that could be a battle for that team.
that's when you're going to be watching, Matt.
Yes, I will be. I'll be hooked into that deal. Can't tell if this is the 19 or 61. We'll have to go with 61 on this pick. Wright State. So you're probably wishing it was the other team based on that combination there. So Wright State is the second team. Our third team is going to be Butler. Butler's a good choice out of the Big East. They're going to be a great combination. Our next team is Cal State Fullerton, is usually a College World Series team. So we'll see if they're any good at basketball this year.
They
Another
come
good
to
baseball
Omaha
team.
quite a bit.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
We'll see how they play out. Next team we're looking at is going to be Ohio State. So that's a much better pick for you. So we have 1 team left. Is that, we're looking at the statisticians over here. 5 teams. You got 4. Is that correct?
We got the thumbs up.
You guys can speak.
We're good.
You don't have to be muted over there. And your last team is the University of Texas, the Longhorns.
Longhorns.
So hopefully the Longhorns can do something, Brian, to get you going for the next round. Our next individual is going to be Brian F. is in Frank. Your first pick is going to be Marshall, the Thundering Herd. So we'll see what you can do with Marshall there. And your next pick is Seton Hall, another great team from the Big East.
Another Big East.
They just dominate that scene over there, don't they? Our next agent is Brian S. And we're going to have to give you two teams, Brian. Our number one team is Alabama, so you get Alabama here. Hopefully they can do well on that first round. And your next team is going to be Kentucky. So you'll kind of use the Southeastern Conference there as your two teams. And can you roll the magic number releaser?
2.
We'll do 2. So our next agent is Brian S. also. You get one team, and that is going to be the University of Montana. So
The Grizz.
the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
So that's the last drawing on that round. We'll go ahead and go back to Adam for his next group.
All right. Next one, we have Charles G. Charles G, you drew Stephen F. Alston.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a long name.
That is a long name.
That's a lot to say. We seem to have lost electricity. There we go. We're back. It's getting dark in here. Just had a storm roll by.
I stepped on the cord. I'm sorry, Matt.
Oh, that was your fault,
I
Adam?
didn't mean to scare you there.
I almost got nervous, almost had to roll out of here.
All right, we have
Clearing a bomb shelter.
the next advisor up here is Charles C. Charles, you have Nevada.
Nevada.
Is that Nevada or Nevada?
Well, it just depends where you're from, I think.
Okay.
They're the
All
Wolf
right,
Pack,
so-
though, that's all I know.
So Daryl S.
Gerald S.
Next agent up, we have Daryl S. You are drawing Charleston.
Is that a dance?
I think
the
it is a band,
Charleston?
but this is actually a school with a basketball team.
Okay,
Yeah.
just checking. Hard to keep track of all these things this afternoon.
Okay, so David H. Next agent up here. David, you drew the winner of the playing game here tonight, the winner of North Carolina Central and Texas Southern.
Sounds like a couple directional schools there, so
Right.
we'll have to see how that plays out. There's better directions.
Hopefully.
No comment from the the left wing.
I really, no. I want to keep it moving here.
Keep it rolling, brother.
All right, so David M.
David M.
Next agent up, we have David M. You get two teams here. So, first one, you drew Gonzaga. That's a pretty strong pick there.
The Zags, West Coast.
West Coast Conference. Second team, we're looking at Bucknell.
Got no comment on Bucknell. Don't know much about them.
Yeah.
That could be a quick exit from the Bucknell.
Next
Unless they get
agent,
upset.
uh,
Sorry to over talk you here, Adam. You are up.
the lesser-known teams, they can
Yes.
pull upsets. Deborah W. Looks like Deborah, you drew UMBC. Is that
Too many,
Mar-
too many initials for
too
me.
many
I
initials?
can't figure that one out.
I think that's Maryland, University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
You are correct. You win the big prize.
Hey,
You got two more advisors
trivia.
there.
We've got two more to go here, so Donald B., you're the next up. Looks like Donald, you drew Virginia Tech. Pretty strong team out of the ACC.
Very strong.
And Eden B. Last one before I hand it over to you, Matt.
Excellent.
Eden B. Looks like you picked up Radford. So
They won last night.
they did win.
They beat UCLA.
Yeah, already won a game.
That's right. They got one victory.
Right.
That's excellent.
Good luck
The
to you,
Bruins
Eden
don't
B.
like that. All right, my bad. It sounds like that was St. Bonaventure that beat UCLA, so I knew they played last night. I wasn't sure who they beat.
And that's why we have the smart guys in the corner.
That's right.
Keep us
That's where the
honest.
statisticians are in the corner back here, keeping track of things. Those are our producers, aren't they, Adam? They take care of that side of the business.
They certainly do.
And Anna is just in charge of rolling
Yes, I
the
am.
the balls out here.
Doing a fantastic job
Well,
as well.
thank you.
Yes, she is. So we'll get started here. Next agent up in line is Bruce B. Bruce has drawn Marshall. So they may have good choice on that. Next is Miami, University of Miami for Bruce B. Our next agent is Charlene J. She also gets 2 teams. Her first team is Butler, or actually, sorry about that, Buffalo is the first team that Charlene has drawn. And her next team is West Virginia, so good job on that, Charlene. Our next agent is Charles S. You get 1 team. Your team is going to be Providence, a good team from the Big East. And then our next is Chris P. You get 2 teams. You get Michigan State. Excellent choice. A lot of people are picking Michigan State to win the entire series. And you also get the University of Kansas. So you are very strong in the Midwest region between the Jayhawks and the Spartans.
Those are 2 very solid picks.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if anybody needs to buy tickets for the Midwest region, Adam is a guy to talk to. He's got some great seats. He's looking at getting rid of his seats for that regional. So if you got Michigan State, Duke, or Kansas, you want to go to Adam for your seats.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. I'm glad that I could help you out with that. So our next, I'm actually going back to Adam. I'm done with that drawing. My next agent actually gets 7 teams. So we'll
17. We're gonna have to reload.
Let's get back to you.
Okay. Well, let's see how many we have left here.
Yes. They keep falling out, so they must be
All right.
bonus.
So next agent up is Edric M. Edric, you actually get 2 teams here. So first team is Creighton. out of
Creighton
Omaha
Blue
here.
Jays. Yes, excellent choice.
Creighton is off the board. Second team, we're looking at North Carolina. So, in my opinion, a couple of very strong picks there.
Yes.
Creighton could win a couple games.
We'll see what they can do. If they get past Kansas State Wildcats
I'm going
first.
to be eating my words soon, I know.
Yes.
Okay, next agent up, we have Festus A.
Festus.
Festus, you get 1 team. Looks like you drew Loyola
That'd be Loyola of Chicago.
of Chicago.
And a lot of people are picking them to upset whoever they're playing in the first round.
I believe that's Miami.
That's true. University of Miami.
Yeah.
It's a good call. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Next agent up, we have Francis S. Francis, you drew the winner of the second play-in game tonight, Arizona State and Syracuse. So whoever comes out of that could possibly pull an upset as well in their next game.
Syracuse has always played well in the tournament. They seem
do.
to win a lot of games, and I think that's an excellent choice to move forward with that team there.
All right.
We're going to go ahead and how many more teams you got there,
We
sir?
got 2 more here. So,
Okay.
Frank R. get 1 team. We have Lipscomb. And then finally, before we reload the roller, we have Frederick H. Frederick, you have drawn Texas A&M for your team.
A&M, another great choice. We're going to go ahead and reload the machine here so we can get down to the rest of our drawing. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll go ahead and reload that and be right back with you. We're going to commercial break now. All right, we'll go ahead and get started again here. We got our next group of agents we're going to be drawing for here. Our first agent actually gets 7 teams. So we'll go ahead and get the 7 teams picked here. His first team is going to be Charleston. So Charleston is Curtis C's first team. So Curtis C, you are on the board. And the second team we're looking at is going to be the winner of NC Central and Texas Southern. So you get the winner of that game, which is played tonight. Your third team is Georgia State. So Georgia State would be a tough team to see win the first round game, but we'll see what happens. You never know what's going to happen there. Next team is West Virginia. They play a very stout defense.
Strong contender in the Big 12 this year.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
They played very well. And then our next team is going to be Radford. anybody knows where Radford is located, be sure to tell us. How many teams are we up to there? Is that 6? Can you count? 5. So we need
Got one
2 more.
Oh, 2 more.
He gets a total of 7. So Curtis C., you got 2 more teams coming. Next team is the University of Marshall. And the next team is Villanova. So you get a number 1 seed. Villanova. So great job, Curtis. You're doing a fantastic job with that business you submitted the last couple weeks. Our next agent is Curtis B., who gets 2 teams. So Curtis B. will be getting 2 teams. First team is going to be Wichita State. So the Shockers.
Shockers out of Kansas.
And guess where Curtis is from?
Well, that's just
That is
that
unusual. He's from Wichita. So
local
that
team.
is not fixed, by the way. So if you want to talk about this, you can go to Adam. He's our enforcer. He can take care of any questions you may have.
The enforcer. I like that.
Yes. And well, that was just his first team. I've kind of lost track. We just have
Yep.
one team for him.
Yep.
You can tell I'm slowing down here.
You get another one.
So he has one more team, and he's the University of North Carolina.
North Carolina.
So that's 2 great picks for Curtis B. So way to go, Curtis. You owe me. David S. would be our next agent of choice. David also gets 2 teams. So his first team is the University of Nebraska. Wait, they're in the NIT.
Long tournament.
That's
Matt.
the wrong list
Long
again.
tournament.
We got to get back to Loyola. So he has Loyola of Chicago. So good job, David. Loyola is your first team. Your second team is Michigan State. So another great choice in the Big Ten.
Absolutely.
Our next agent is Dean C. So Dean C., who is related to Adam C. Unusually, they both have the same last name. So you have picked University of Bucknell, the Bucknell Beavers. That may or may not be their name. We're not sure.
Bison.
The Bison. Wasn't even close. So we'll go ahead and go over to Adam for his next group of picks.
All right. Thank you, Matt. Fantastic job.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
We have
Are you ready?
handful of agents coming up here. So first one, Gerald R. Gerald, you're picking 3 teams here. So
3 teams.
qualified 3 times here initially. First team, looks like you drew South Dakota State.
Excellent.
The second team, Gerald, we're looking at Montana.
The Grizzlies.
Grizzlies out of Montana. And then your third and final team, looks like we have Clemson.
The Tigers.
So
Was Clemson in the Final Four last year in football?
Clemson, yeah,
Did they make it?
they were.
Yeah, they're in the championship.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think that.
Maybe they could ride that
way.
wave into the
They lost.
NCAA basketball tournament.
All right, next agent up is Gerald H. Gerald, you get 1 team, and we have Cal State Fullerton.
There you go.
Once again, the baseball team that comes to Omaha a lot.
Yes.
Next agent up, we have Gregory F. So Gregory, looks like you drew Creighton.
Creighton Blue Jays came out early
Local
this time
teams-
around.
Local teams back off the board early.
Yes. Hopefully they can win.
Next agent up gets 1 team as well here, Harvey S. Harvey, you have drawn Xavier.
Is that with an X?
That's with an X.
Xavier.
Xavier?
Xavier.
Okay.
Otherwise known as Xavier.
I defer to the Big East expert in Matt, so thank you.
Okay, we'll
Thank
have
you
to figure
for
that one out.
correcting
That's
me.
what my friend's kid name goes. He goes Xavier. I'm like, all right, we'll go with that.
Okay.
So we got one more.
So, actually, I'm going to go ahead and kick it back to you, Matt.
All right.
Next agent up for me has 6 teams to choose from.
Wow, big hitter. So our first agent here gets 2 teams. It's Deborah P. as in Paul. Deborah, your first team is going to be Duke. So Duke is your first team, so a great choice there. First team out. Your second choice is Stephen Austin. So good job on that.
Does Stephen have a middle initial, Matt?
Stephen F. Austin.
That's what I thought.
Frankly. I think that's what it
Frankly,
stands for.
yeah.
Frankly. So we'll go with that. Looks like 061, so we'll see what that stands for here. For Deb M, you get the University of Wright State. So if you can't go left,
You go right.
Go right. Excellent choice. And that was your one choice. Donna Kay, you get one team. You're lucky enough to get the UNG or CG, University of North Carolina,
Greensboro.
Greensboro.
Yeah.
What's the C stand for? Carolina
I would think that's Carolina.
or Central?
We'll check on that.
We'll have to get to our statistician and see what he has to say on that one.
No clue.
All right. So our next agent is Enoch P. P as in Peter. You get one team. Your team is going to be the University of Kentucky. So great job, Enoch, on that choice. Our next individual is Eric P. You get number 47, which is Saint Bonaventure. Good job. And your next team is going to be University of Houston. So good job, Enoch, on that choice. Next up, we have Eric. You get two teams. So your first team is going to be the Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee, the Vols. Vanna, could you get me one more ball, please? Because
Would you
we're,
like one more?
we got one more to go here, so we got to make sure we get that one.
One more.
One more to go here after this one. So, Eric P., your next team is going to be lucky number 33, which happens to be the University of Nevada. So, good job, Eric. Our last drawing for this time around is Evan S. And your team is going to be Butler, the Bulldogs. So, good job, Evan S. You have the Butler Bulldogs.
Good picks there.
So, Adam, you need to take a break now, or are you going to continue to flow along?
We're going to keep going here. We've got,
All right.
We've got a handful of teams to hand out here in the next round, going to a few agents.
So, is Vanna going to get you some more teams here?
We're trying.
All right. Actually, it's Anna. I keep
It is
calling you
Anna.
Vanna because, I'm used to watching you turn those letters on the Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yes.
Yes. I thought you might catch that.
Thanks, Matt.
No problem.
She's too polite to correct me. So.
That's very nice of her.
All right. So next agent up, we have Hugh B. Hugh, you get 6 teams here. So
A six-pack.
yeah, 6-pack,
Yes.
6-pack of teams. So first team here, we have Arkansas.
Razorbacks.
UB drew Arkansas first. Next team up is North Carolina State.
The Wolfpack. Good choice.
And we have Miami,
Hurricanes.
the Hurricanes.
Yes, Hurricanes. There's a hurricane warning. And who's
All right,
Miami
there.
play?
Miami, you mentioned that earlier. Loyola, Chicago.
Loyola, Chicago. Yes, we're going back
Yeah.
to that drawing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next team.
You're testing me there, Matt.
Yes.
Okay, so next team up, we have Iona. And then we're looking at Florida. Like those southern teams.
Mm-hmm.
Last team up for Hugh, you're looking at Seton Hall. So Hugh, that's some
Hugh.
strong picks there.
Very good teams. You picked their Hugh.
Next agent up, we have Ronald B. Ronald, you get 2 teams here. So first team is Virginia Tech. Second team, Ronald, you're looking at Cincinnati. So those are certainly a couple of strong picks there. We'll go ahead and do a couple more here. So next folks up, looks like we have just one team apiece. So James W. Looks like you have drawn Buffalo.
Buffalo Bulls.
Buffalo Bulls.
Yes.
Not the Chicago Bulls.
No. Different team.
Then we have James W. again. So we have 2 James W's on here.
Okay.
Other James W., your team is number 39. That's Penn. So
And everyone that gets their names drawn today, we're actually going to make phone calls tomorrow morning to everyone. So that if you do have your first name that matches up with someone else's last name on the first initial, we'll be giving you a call and giving you your specific teams. That way you don't feel like you're a little bit confused on who you have. So we'll go ahead and get that going. Do you have one more?
we can go ahead and draw one more if we have it.
One more.
Let's keep going here with JS.
JS.
J, looking like we have Alabama. So Alabama is off the
Crimson
board.
Pride.
Crimson Pride? or-
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, okay.
Roll Tide. So we're going to keep going here.
Don't they have a
So-
football program down there?
I heard they do have a football team, but I heard they play flag football down there.
Flag football.
Yes, I'm not sure if they're a serious team or not. We'll have to see how that rolls. And our next agent, Gary L., is from Alabama, so I'm sure he's going to have to give me a hard time the next time I talk to him. He's going to have two teams chosen for Gary L. Your first team is UMBC, which stands for University of Maryland, Baltimore County.
Baltimore County.
Your next team is University of Auburn. So, Gary, I don't know if you're going to like that or not, but you get Auburn. All right, we're going to keep going here. Our next agent is Jeffrey J. You get one team. Your team there, Jeffrey, is going to be Missouri, University of Missouri, so good job on that choice. Greg B., your team is Rhode Island. So good job, Greg B. Greg L., you get four teams. Your first team is Gonzaga. Your second team is Texas. Your third team is San Diego State. And your fourth and final team is going to be the University of Lipscomb. Anybody know where Lipscomb is?
We've been trying to figure that out. We're
We'll
waiting
have
on
to
an
we'll have
answer.
to look that one up
Yeah,
and
we'll-
see
we'll
where
check it
see
on
where
next
that
break
one
here.
is located. Harry J., you are our next agent of record, and you get one team, and your team is going to be New Mexico State, the Cowboys. So excellent choice there, sir. Now we're back to Adam for his next round of big hitters.
Okay, we've got a few. We'll fire off here.
Guaranteed winners here next round. We'll do a little commercial while we're waiting. So if anybody has any creative needs, we have Josh, Tasia, Andrew, great people to talk to on that end. So if you want to do some advertising for a way to get in front of more clients, they'll do a great job for you. We'll go back to Adam now that we've done that quick, brief announcement.
Great web design.
Yes, great web design.
Yeah. All right, we're going to keep it moving here. So next agent up is Jeb C. Jeb, you get one team, and we have Texas A&M for Jeb C.
Was Jeb on a TV show years ago?
Well, I think Jeb's done a few things there.
Did he find some oil in his backyard?
I believe so.
All right, just making sure. Well, keep it rolling.
All right, we have Jeff B. For our next agent up, Jeff, you get one team, and it looks like you have drawn Murray State out of Kentucky,
That's the second best team in Kentucky.
the second best.
Yeah, second best team.
Okay.
Adam, would you quick tap on that cord
You
over
know,
there?
this cord is just in a horrible spot.
You need to keep things rolling, brother. Keep it going.
We have Joel H. is our next agent here, and Joel, looks like you have drawn Ohio State.
Ohio State Buckeyes.
Ohio State Buckeyes.
Yes, good team.
Next agent up, may have wanted Ohio State. We have John E. up here.
Johnny E.
John, you have picked Texas Tech.
Texas Tech, otherwise known as the Red Raiders. Yes,
Out of Lubbock, Texas.
Lubbock, Texas. You keep it going there, sir?
We'll keep going here.
You keep going until we run out of ping pong balls.
All right, we have Jose R. coming up here. Jose, you get one team. Jose, you've drawn.
Drone. You drowned?
Drawn.
Drawn.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Looks like you have picked TCU, another Texas team.
Yes, the Texas teams are hot.
Jose D, you have picked, you get one team here, picked Michigan.
Wolverines, they won the Big Ten championship and the playoffs, so that could be a good draw here to go into the tournament.
It could be. Tell you what, we will do next advisor here. Joseph D, looks like you've picked two teams here. So first one is Virginia.
Cavaliers, another number one seed.
Number one overall.
Yes.
And then the second team is the winner of tonight's playing game, Arizona State versus Syracuse.
So he goes from the top to the bottom, all in two
That's-
ping pong balls.
That's impressive.
That shows
That's impressive.
how unrelated all these are.
I'm trying to draw guaranteed winners with the number one overall seed here.
Yes, but then you throw them a 64
we
seed.
see the flip side of that.
Yes,
so.
it's a tough draw.
Matt,
Am I
Get
up?
bored over there? Do you want to draw a few?
You
or-
going to throw it my way?
Let's go ahead and head back to you.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started here. We got Ike K, one of our stellar agents out there. Ike, you get 2 teams.
They're all stellar, Matt.
They are stellar. Lucky number 13 is Davidson for Ike. Your second team is Florida State. So good job, Ike, on those 2 draws. Ivy L, you get 1 team. Arizona. Ivy, you have an excellent choice. University of Arizona is always a great place to go. Our next agent is Jack C, who also gets 1. And Jack, your winning team is Providence. So good job, Jack. Our next agent gets 2. So we'll go ahead and skip up to James R. You get 2. Your first choice is Oklahoma. Boomer Sooners. Is that the
Boomer
first time
Sooners.
they've been picked? Oklahoma Sooners?
No,
I don't remember hearing them before.
I think
It could be the first time, yeah.
And from the great state of Indiana is your second team, the University of Purdue.
Purdue.
So Purdue is your second team of choice there. So we'll go ahead and reload the machine. We'll go ahead and take our next break. Let's go ahead and get started again. We're going to start out with our biggest entry, who gets 15 teams. James B, congratulations on being our number 1 qualifier for the first rounds of the tournament. So
Impressive.
you basically get 25% of the field, which is awesome. You get to start with Georgia State. So Georgia State is your first team. Second team is Creighton. So you go from the lower end of the bracket to the highest end of the bracket with Creighton there. So good job, James B, on getting Creighton in your lineup. Wichita State, 2 old MVC battlers there. University of Missouri. So Missouri is your next team. Your next team is Kansas. So Big 8 teams there between Kansas and Missouri. I think that's solid.
Eight.
Texas, University of Texas, we're going to the Big 12 now. All those teams used to play each other. Still do, right?
Still do.
Still do. Next team is Virginia. So one of the number one overall seed. So when you get 15 teams, you're going to get some good teams that go in your bracket. Texas Tech. New Mexico State. Virginia Tech. Oh. So I do all these here, Vanna.
Yes.
This is a lot of teams to throw
All
out
of
there.
them.
Auburn, Texas A&M, Buffalo, Rhode Island, and your last team, your number 15 team, is going to be North Carolina. So you got some really solid teams there, Jim B. So congratulations on a great last couple of weeks of production. And we'll go ahead and go to our next qualifier, who is James M. You get 6 teams, James M. Seems to be a slow process here. We'll go ahead and get these out here. We'll get started here. So your first team is Seton Hall, James M. Your second team is going to be Gonzaga. Your third team is TCU, the Horned Frogs. Your next team is the winner of ASU and Syracuse. Your next team is Michigan State. And your last and not least team is going to be Villanova.
Villanova.
So Villanova.
Strong
So
team
that
to
is
finish
a
with.
very good team to finish with.
Absolutely.
So great job, James. You got some great teams to play with there. And our next qualifier is Jason A, who gets 1 team. Your 1 team is the University of Arkansas. Our next qualifier is Gerald F. You get 1 team. Your team is San Diego State. Our next team is JC. you get the University of Cal State Fullerton. And our next team is going to be for Jimmy R. You get 2 teams. You get the Radford University. And your last team you get is Stephen F. Austin. So he might have a challenge to get to next weekend, but he can always write more business to get to the next weekend. John C., you get 2 teams. Your first team is going to be Purdue. Excellent choice. Your next team is going to be the winner of North Central and Texas Southern. And Catherine H. is our last qualifier for my round. And you get the University of Kansas State Wildcats, otherwise known as the Mildcats. So we'll go ahead and flip it back to Adam on that note.
Matt's a little bitter. He's a Jayhawk alum.
I am a Jayhawk alum, so when it comes to Kansas State, there's just not much left on this side of the table over here.
I'm not feeling much.
You're not.
I'm not feeling much.
And nor is Scott.
All right. We have a couple of teams here for Keith C. So, Keith, you get 2 teams. Your first team is Lipscomb,
Lipscomb, out of the
We did-
great state of Tennessee.
Tennessee. We did check on that at the break, and that is out of Lipscomb's out of Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah.
Is that country area? You got some country there
I think
in
they
Nashville?
like country music. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Keith,
Is that where
you-
Dolly? Is Dolly from Asheville?
I believe so.
Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah. So it's just a wealth of information, Matt.
Yes,
It's,
I'm glad that
as
could
always.
fulfill all the knowledge you ever needed more.
All right, and Keith, your second team here. See if we can improve on Lipscomb. Keith, it looks like you've drawn UNC Greensboro. So
That is a
Couple of-
great team to, have on your list of teams you have in the bracket. So keep them as a upset special.
all right, Kenneth B. Kenneth, you're drawing 3 teams here. So you wrote 3 pieces of business. You get 3 teams. Your first one is Florida State. So not a bad pick
The
there.
Seminoles, always a good choice.
Then we have, looks like Nevada for your second team. And Ken, your third and final team is Tennessee.
He's kind of all over the world
All
there.
over the place,
All over
yeah.
the place in the US of A. So good choices.
All right, next couple here have 1 team apiece. We have Kenneth W. You have drawn Duke, strong contender.
Very good team, Blue Devils.
And we have Kenneth M. Kenneth M., you've drawn, let's see here, St. Bonaventure.
The Bonnies.
All right. We have some Kennys. So
Yes.
Kenny K
Kenny
is our
K.
next agent up. Kenny, you have drawn Alabama. Get 1 team there, so decent pick for your 1 team.
How many more,
We're
how many more you got there?
let's go ahead and kick it back to you, Matt.
All right, we'll go ahead and start on my list again. We got Ken B, who gets 2 teams. Ken B, Arizona, and Davidson. So excellent choices there on that first 2 drawings there. Kevin H, you also get 2 teams. Your teams are UMBC and the University of North Carolina State, the Wolfpack. So another great combination. And our next individual, Kyle F., you get 4 teams. So I'll need one more ball, Vanna. Let me get that out the
Of course.
machine there. Loyola Chicago is your first team. And your next team is going to be Xavier is your next team.
Xavier.
I almost said Wright
That's-
State, but that was wrong. It is Xavier.
Yeah.
I think you'd rather have Xavier than Wright State, wouldn't you think so, Adam?
I would think so.
Yes,
and-
since
and-
they're a number 1 seed and Wright State might be like a 15 seed.
They're down there.
They are definitely down there.
Yeah.
So we'll have to move on. Montana, the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies are back out.
Yes, one more, I believe. Thanks, Vanna. You can call me Pat if you
Pat.
like. Yes, Pat's always a good choice, so we'll go with Pat. And not from Saturday Night Live, though.
No.
Not, what's that called? Androgynous Pat. Is that right?
That
Sure, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
Hard to
that's
say
right.
on that one, but we'll go Iona is our last choice there.
Iona. Okay.
Iona. So we got Lock T is our next choice. He gets 3 teams. All right, we'll go ahead and move forward here. Looks like we are with Lock. Lock, your locks of the week are going to be Villanova. Good choice. We've got Houston. Another good choice. University of Florida. So you got 2 out of 3 really good teams that are a lock. So you were locked into some major victories. Maryland C is our next choice. You get 1 team. Your lucky team is going to be Ohio State. So go Buckeyes. We got 1 more. Mark H. Mark H, you get 1 team. And your team is going to be Providence. So good job, Mark. I'm drawing Providence. We'll go ahead and move back to Adam for our next lineup of teams. Don't worry, folks. We're about ready to have another timeout here. And we've got another little round here. As soon as we get through this round, we'll do another timeout. Have a few commercials for you. And be back with more exciting information.
All right.
What do you need?
So we have Lawrence T. Next agent up, we get 2 teams here. So Lawrence, your first team is Butler.
Does he go by Mr. T for short?
Mr. T.
Yes. Does he wear a lot of gold?
Yeah.
A lot of chains?
I can't say that.
Okay.
It's
Well, let's keep going forward then.
second team for you, Lawrence. Looks like you've drawn Murray State out of Kentucky.
Murray State. Are they the Racers?
It's the Racers.
The Racers.
I don't know if they race cars or horses.
We'll find out soon.
Maybe horses in Kentucky.
Yes, it could be.
All right, Marie S. You get 1 team here. Marie, you've drawn Clemson.
Clemson.
Clemson Tigers.
Good.
We have Mark V. coming up here. You get 1 team here, Mark. And you have drone. I keep saying drone.
A lot of drones out there.
You
Watch out
have
for the drones.
drawn, let's see here. Looks like Oklahoma.
Boomer Sooners.
Boomer Sooner. That's right.
All right.
Nope. Okay, we've got Michael A. next up. You get 1 team here. Michael, you have picked Penn.
Penn. Not Penn State.
Not
but,
Penn State.
But Penn.
Just Penn.
Yes.
Just Penn.
Not a pencil, but a pen.
All right, we have Michael A. next up with 2 teams.
Okay.
Michael, you have picked Miami, your first team.
And by the way, Michael, Floyd usually takes lunch between 1 and 2. So if you call him at 1:10 every day, he is going to be at lunch. So remember that. All right, back to you, Adam. Reload now.
Or,
Time in. Good.
okay. All right, and Michael A., you get your second team here, which is Kentucky.
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 Go
University of
Wildcats.
Kentucky.
How are we doing?
Well,
Are we go over a couple more here, sir?
we have a couple more.
Let's do it. Let's just run this out. You got enough to run it out?
Let's go ahead.
Let's just run them out.
We have Michael Z. next up.
Some zebra.
Getting 1 team here. Michael, you've picked Cincinnati. And we have next agent up, Nathan B. You get 2 teams here. So, Nathan, your first team is South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits.
Yes.
Yeah. And Charleston for your second team.
The dance team. Yes, back to the dance team.
Back to the
All right, we're going
dance.
to take a quick time out here, folks. We're going to do some more messages for you. We'll be back in a split second. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're going to get through the last part of this quickly. We had to zoom forward, running out of time to get all these announced. So we're going to go ahead and do this quickly this morning and get these all established here for the video being posted today. So Mark D gets 2 teams, Michigan and Clemson. Matthew L gets 1 team, Seton Hall. Michael H gets 1 team, Penn. Mike A gets 2 teams, Alabama and Lipscomb. Mike W gets 3 teams, Kansas State, Florida State, and Wichita State. Mike W. gets Duke, Michigan State, and Charleston, 3 teams. Michael S. gets 1 team, San Diego State. Nick C. gets 1 team, West Virginia. Pat G. gets Texas A&M. Perry O. gets Syracuse. Phil B. gets Texas and Kansas. QC gets Radford. Ralph G. gets Houston. Ralph S. gets 4 teams, South Dakota State, Cal State Fullerton, Villanova, and Georgia State. Ralph R. gets Nevada. Ralph B. as in boy gets Rhode Island. Ray S. gets Providence. Bob C. gets Butler. Robert C. gets TCU in North Carolina. We're going to go over to Adam now. He's going to announce his first group of teams.
Great. All right. Next group of agents up, we have NE P. NE get 1 team here, and that's Providence. Patricia S. Patricia, you get 6 teams, starting off with Arkansas, then Purdue, Villanova, Stephen F. Austin, Oklahoma, and Texas Tech. So a solid group of 6 teams there for Patricia.
Way to go, Patricia.
Peter P. Peter P. You get 1 team in Cincinnati. So if you're going to have 1 team, that's not a bad one to have. Rebecca H. You get 2 teams, Montana, and we actually found out the winner of last night's game was Texas Southern. So you get Texas Southern and Montana, Rebecca. Robin T. You get 2 teams as well, Wichita State and Texas. Ronald R. You get the winner of Arizona State and Syracuse, which was Syracuse.
Syracuse, big winners last night.
Yep.
The Orange.
Ronald M. Ronald, you get 2 teams here. So you start off with Villanova and Virginia Tech. Ronald W. You get 4 teams here. You get UNC Greensboro. Looks like Arizona and Wright State.
He started off strong, kind of fell off the end there with Wright State, so maybe he can make up for it with
wait.
Arizona.
It's Matt. I'm still struggling in counting here. Ronald has 4 teams. I just announced 3. So his last team, hopefully pick it back up here with Auburn.
Auburn,
So,
another good choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
and then finally, before I kick it back to you, Matt, here, Shane H. Get 1 team here. Shane, you've got Houston.
Houston. If it was back in the 80s, he'd have a better choice of Houston based compared to now. So we'll go ahead and get started with into my list here. We got Ryan M. gets Iona. Scott W. gets Virginia Tech. Scott H. gets Arkansas. Scott D. gets 6 teams. You've got Duke, Ohio State, Loyola of Chicago, Purdue, Texas Tech, and Murray State. So some good teams for you there, Scott. Stephen M. gets Villanova. Steve D. gets Marshall. Steve S. gets 3 teams. You get Missouri, Florida, and UNCG. We've got Stephen M. gets Stephen F. Austin. So Steve, good combination
Steve.
there.
And Stephen appreciates you remembering his middle initial this time.
Exactly. It's the last time I could remember that middle initial. It's terrible. Terry L. gets 2 teams, Arizona and Xavier. That's with an X. Terry K. gets Wright State. Tom H. gets Montana. Tom S. as in Sam gets Creighton. It's a good choice, Tom S. Tommy D. gets Tennessee and Ohio State. A couple great teams there. Tim S. gets Oklahoma, Cincinnati, and Miami. Tim R., a local agent here in Omaha, gets Virginia and Kentucky. Tim D. gets Buffalo. They've got great wings, so be sure to go to Buffalo. And Walter O. gets Gonzaga. William L. gets UMBC. So hopefully them or New Mexico State can work for you. You get 2 teams. You got UMBC, New Mexico State for William L. And Willie M., my last team agent, gets North Carolina State. So congratulations on that group of agents. We're going to go back to Adam to finish his list now.
Good group of agents there, a lot of business to get a lot of teams, so
Definitely.
good job, everybody. Thank you. Last group of agents on my end here, we're going to start off with Steve V. Steve, you get 1 team, and that is Arizona. Stephen H., get 1 team as well, Iona. Thomas D., you get 2 teams here. Thomas looking at Murray State and Virginia. Threadrus J., Threadrus, you get 1 team, and that is Texas A&M. Troy E., get 1 team as well, which is Michigan State.
It's a good team to have if you have one team.
That's a good team.
Yes.
Yeah. Venus R., get 4 teams here. Venus looking at Tennessee starting off, Marshall, Charleston, and West Virginia. So not
Good East Coast teams
not a
there.
bad group of 4 there.
Nope.
Virginia K. Virginia, you get a couple of teams starting off with Missouri and Duke.
Good choice.
Wesley O. Wesley, you get 2 teams here, Nevada and Alabama. So could get a couple of games out of those 2. William A. William, you're starting off with Kansas and Gonzaga. You get 2 teams, and those are 2
2 stellar
definitely
teams there.
solid teams. Yeah.
Yes.
Matt Tour's Jayhawks.
Yes. Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
William G. You get 1 team here, and that is New Mexico State. A lot of people like them for an upset in the first round, so you could still be in it. William R. finishing up. Last advisor here. William, you get 3 teams. Your 3 are Miami, TCU, and Penn. And once again, just to clarify, that's not Penn State, that's Penn.
Now, if he would have Penn State last night, he would have been a big winner because Penn State did win last night. But too bad they're not in the NCAA tournament.
Probably why they won.
So we're going to wrap up with this week's video. Thanks for everybody for joining us today. Remember, if your team does get eliminated and that you have a chance to draw new teams next Wednesday, we'll be taping a second version of this next Wednesday with the announcement of the new teams going into the Sweet 16. So if your teams advance, you can still write business, get additional teams. If your teams get beat this weekend, you can go ahead and write new business and get in for next week's drawing. So appreciate everyone's business so far in this contest. We've had a great group of agents qualify. We had over 190 agents qualify, so
Awesome.
Strong showing for
very,
our first,
very strong.
Yes.
first annual contest. So
Definitely.
Thank you very much for your business.
And well over 200 teams were handed out during this process. So thanks everyone for their time, and everyone have a great week. Go Jayhawks.